Hi everyone, welcome to another session of G9ijaTV NewsScope. My name is Olatunde MD, and we have a couple of news events that actually arises today, which we're going to be talking about. First, in case, is the reaction of Naira Marley on Mohbad's death, then followed by the Anambra NYC attack. So the saga continues. Then the Alaafin of Oyo and the Oni of Ife, the disagreement, shall I say, I wouldn't want to call it confrontation, that has to do with the conferment of the chieftaincy title by the Oni of Ife. Then we actually have as well, the last but not the still, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, saying that every Nigerian needs to be able to defend himself, which I think is quite loaded. So, without much ado, let's go straight for Naira Mali. Now, we all knew what happened when Mubad died. There were quite a lot of people who basically started pointing the fingers at Naira Mali. And effectively, they've been the police investigation. They even went to court, I believe, at some point, and people were really very very quick to point at Naira Marley at that time, and another certain gentleman who they were saying, oh, definitely they were actually behind the deaths of Naira Marley. But now it has been proven, you know, beyond any reasonable doubt that it has nothing to do with it. It's one of the reasons why people, especially on social media, should be very very careful. You don't just jump, you don't hear things happening, then the first thing is you hear some rumor, then before you know it, even though most of these people don't even know the root cause of basically what really happened. All they did was, they had somebody saying it, then the next thing. And it's so disappointing as well that we have some celebrities, who actually went out and became the oracle that speaks, in regards to the death, the unfortunate death of Mobad. So what really then happened is, let me just bring this up quickly. Hmm. Right. So Naramali speaks on Mohbad's death, says the late singer's demise was premeditated, and there's a video to that effect. So unfortunately, because of copyright, we can't really. Maybe I'll just show you briefly. So he said singer Naramali has addressed claims linking him to the death of his former signee Mohbad. In a video shared online, Naira stated that the last time he saw Mohbad was on October 4, 2022, after an alter, altercation between the singer and his then manager. According to him, despite previous issues, including Mohbad's clash with NDLEA and an attempted suicide, a legal dispute with his distributor, and his exit from Malian music, Mohbad was still considering an apology before his passing. On learning of Mohbad's death on September 12, 2023, Naira Marley said he was outside Nigeria, first in Amsterdam and later linking up with Zelensky in Montenegro for a planned video shoot. He added that he had passports, stamps, videos, and witnesses to confirm his absence from the country at the time. Reacting to viral clips, including the video of Sam Larry confronting Mohbad on set, Marley said the first time he saw the footage was online, like everyone else, but insisted it was not recorded on the day Mohbad died. He also claimed uh, is it Zlatan had privately confirmed that nothing violent happened at that shoot. Mali alleged that some blogs were paid to circulate old clips in order to change the narrative around Mohbad's death, while stressing that he was unfairly blamed and never got the chance to mourn properly. On Mohbad's struggles, Mali referenced a leaked voice note where the late singer expressed paranoia and fear after past incidents. Mohbad's partner also admitted he battled depression and had once been taken to a psychiatric hospital, noting that he became a shadow of himself after the NDLEA raid. Mali denied ever bullying Mohbad or sending anyone to harass him. He also dismissed a viral Snapchat clip of him dancing shortly after Mohbad and insisted it was an old video used to frame him. So like I said, I'm not going to actually play the video itself, but this is just to actually say that, it's so dangerous on social media these days. That is why people need to be very, very careful about their digital footprint online. Anyone can take a video and change and say anything about anybody. But what I'm always going to say is that if you ever find yourself whereby before you say anything derogatory to attack somebody online, remember that, when you're pointing a finger, when you're pointing like this, how many fingers are pointing back? You're looking at least three of them are pointing back at you. So, people should stop jumping to conclusions and uh, sort of knee jerk reaction. When things happen, everybody needs to calm down. Let the police do their job, which, I mean, the police have been quite fantastic in this. A lot of things actually came out. So, but the good thing about this, which is the focus of what we're talking about now, is that Naira Marley never had anything to do with it. People were trying to make that narrative. They brought out old video and said why the guy was dancing. They said that was the day that Mubada. Who say? Really happy that that has been dismissed. So the next story that we will be talking about now is that of the saga of the NYC copper that happened in Anambra State. It's honestly there's a particular reason why I keep bringing this up. That's because I found out that you know when certain things happen, especially when it actually involves women, there seems to be where the men that happens to be there either lose their senses or just decide to just be the accuser, the should I say the accuser, the judge, the jury, the executioner, all in one. Now, what's happened is that one of the main political heavyweights in Anambra State, in the person of, let me even bring this up here. Right, because those guys can't get away with it. There is no way they are not going to get away with it. We're going to keep talking about it until justice is served. He said Senator Uche Ekwenife, the APC Congress deputy governorship candidate in Anambra State, has strongly condemned the brutal assault on Jennifer Ilobo, a serving member of the National Youth Service Corps, insisting that justice must not end with the arrest of the perpetrators. Absolutely. In a statement released through our media head, Tony Ezike, on Wednesday, Ekwenife described the attack as barbaric, even worse than that, and inhumane, stressing that it amounted to a gross violation of human dignity, and fundamental rights. She warned that no society that upholds justice should allow its youth to be dehumanized under the guise of law enforcement. Absolutely. The senator, while acknowledging the Anambra state government quick intervention in apprehending the operatives responsible, maintained that prosecution and accountability must follow. Justice must go beyond arrest. True. She said, emphasizing that diligent prosecution would serve as both deterrent and reassurance to Nigerian youth that the state is committed to their protection. Ekwenife further urged security agencies to embark on immediate reorientation of the operative, stressing professionalism, respect for human rights, and operational restraint. She recommended the introduction of stronger internal disciplinary measures within security institutions alongside additional safeguards by both the federal government and the NYC to guarantee that court members can serve without fear of harassment or abuse. Expressing solidarity with Jennifer Aloba and her family, Ekwunife noted that the attack was not only personal violation, but also an affront to womanhood and society at large. She called on Nigerians to rise against such acts, insisting that national unity and respect for human dignity depends on collective rejection of abuse by state agents. The incident has reignited nationwide debate on the vulnerability of young Nigerians under the NYC scheme, which has long faced criticism over inadequate protection of core members in volatile regions. For many, Ekwenife intervention highlights the need for structural reforms in Nigeria's security system and renewed commitment to safeguard the right of those serving their country. Very, very true. Because, look, If these guys must be, they must use them. They must be made to face the music. They will serve as an example to others. There is no reason for them to have done what they did to her. I'll keep saying, you know, I have not watched the video. I refuse to watch the video. I saw pictures, and you can see, even from that, you can see that it was deliberate. It was intentional. They wanted to dehumanize her. They wanted to embarrass her. Part of the this thing that I saw part of the news today that the police said their investigation has sort of stalled a bit because she's not coming out. Yes, because she's embarrassed. And in fact, one of the things I wanted to say was that they need to keep an eye on her for our mental health well-being. And the reason I'm saying that is that because for somebody to have faced that sort of injustice, that sort of brutal, inhumane attack, she look, she's not a street girl. Even a street girl self does not even deserve to be treated like that. And she's not. So I can understand the fact that for her, she's not going to come out and just say, yeah, this is what happened to me. No, 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 no. Or some like other people that does that. She was actually stripped naked deliberately. Ah, no. If I was the Chief Justice of Nigeria, those guys too, they must be stripped naked though. So that NTA, Arise TV, everybody will come and film them. Let them strip them stark naked the way they were born. Because when it's not just like the Equinife said, it's not enough to just say they arrest them, then later they'll go and do some things, they talk behind, they say, oh, let's settle out of court. No, this one, there's no settling out of court. These guys, they must go all the way because they were laughing. The way they were carrying, I mean, shame on them. Big shame on them. They were carrying guns. True, the state governor actually said that they were on legitimate, trails of some cultists. But the moment they went into that compound and the coppers, they identified themselves. The coppers there asked them to follow protocol, which is like, please, we don't know you. They didn't show them any ID or anything. It said, let us call the inspector that's in charge of call members. Those guys don't have any respect for anything. Those guys are just, sorry to say, gangsters. They just went there. They must have been doing this to a whole lot of people. But now justice has caught up with them. They're not going to get away with it. So we'll keep you posted. We're going to be looking out to make sure that, that justice is served for Jennifer. Right. So the next one that we actually have is the saga between the Oni of Ife and the Alafi of Oyo. Now, apparently, they said there is a statement that the Alafi of Oyo actually made recently that is not in competition with any monarch in Europe. Well, with any monarch. So it says, the Alafi of Oyo. Let me bring it up. The Alafi of Oyo, Oba Akim Uwade, on Thursday disclosed that he is not in supreme battle with any monarch, either in Yoruba land or anywhere in the universe. He made this disclosure in a statement released by his director of media publicity, Bode Durojaye, in Ibadan, the Oyo state capital. Reports that fresh battle between the Alaafin, Oba Wade, and the Oni of Ife, Oba Enito Ogunwusi, started last Monday after the Alaafin faulted the Oni's decision to confer the title of Okunlomo of Odua on the businessman Dotun Sanusi during the unveiling of an indigenous social media network together at Ilaji Hotel Ibadan at the weekend. The statement explained that the Alaafin is a veritable custodian of Yoruba culture and tradition and has always taken into consideration the safety and welfare of his subject at all times. It added that the monarch relied heavily on the will and wishes of his subjects. Drojaye said the Alaafin said he, Alafin, will never compromise tradition, culture, and development of his people for a pot of porridge. He said the monarch operates a government that is judged by its results as prosperity, security, and well-being of the people, dictated his popularity both in the palace and in the empire at large. The statement read in part why Alafin does not need to get into any battle for supremacy with any Oba, either in Yoruba land or anywhere in the universe. This immortal words of Alexander Graham Bell, the most successful man in these most successful men in the end are those whose success is the result of steady accretion. It is the man who carefully advances step by step with his mind, become wider and wider and progressively be able to grasp any theme or situation, persevering in what he knows to be practical, concentrating his thoughts upon it, who's bound to succeed in the greatest degree. Okay, so let me, because it's quite a long, um, I won't say long-winded, but it's quite long. Say, Eid Alafin is a veritable custodian of Yoruba culture and something into consideration. Okay, I think we're spoken about that one. Oyo simply rose to the prominence through wealth gained from trade and its military skill. It was the largest West African empire, the most important and authoritative of all the early Yoruba principalities. More so, the British, as it was in their tradition, recognized lineage as meaningful supremacy and legitimacy, preferring to sign the Treaty of Secession with the Alafin as the superior head of the Yoruba nation. So, I mean, look, I said the other time that we need them to collaborate. Both of them are very powerful monarchs in Yoruba land, and hence the reason why we said peace must reign. They must restrain themselves, and the media people that actually works with them is very important, because if they keep attacking each other publicly, they are indirectly sort of diminishing the importance and the respect of the kingship or the monarchy role they both played. So both sides, once again, we are saying that they have to restrain themselves. They shouldn't be, sending condescending words. No, we, because at the end of the day, it's the Yoruba people that will be seen in a very bad light. So we ask the KBAC to please share their sword, and really please try to reconcile and work together for the good of the Yoruba race. It's very, very important. So I'm pretty sure. So I don't think that we actually need to be showing that one is more powerful or stronger than the other. So it's very, very important that we need them. We admire both of them, and they are very young people, very, very young, powerful people in the land. So we need them to really, really work together. And I'm sure that the KBACs, that the KBACs are definitely going to be doing that. Definitely sure about that. So moving swiftly on. These young KBACs, please, we need them to chill. We need them. We're very proud of them. That's the most important thing. Very, very proud of them. So we don't want them to diminish, you know, their importance. Very, very important. Right. So the last but not the least, in the country, we've had a situation whereby, we have a security situation in Nigeria at the moment. And it's very, very important that I've always said that we need a national guideline, how we need to move about. How do people protect themselves? Where Nigerians are being assaulted in all fronts: banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery. In fact, even armed robbery that used to be the main thing has even is way down now. We now have herdsmen, banditry, kidnapping, and I'm talking of heavy, horrible brutality being unleashed on Nigerians. Imagine somebody that has never even gone to the gym in their life. They are traveling down the road. Then they are accosted by what? Men with guns. Most people don't even. I think the only guns they've seen is maybe with the Nigerian police or with the Nigerian army. Now they see some weird looking people And these people will be kidnapped and taken. I mean, if you hear some of the story, it's horrible. They are made to actually walk miles. I have stories of people who went to a party coming from Ibadan, coming back to Lagos, left very early in the morning. They were kidnapped. When this man, full grown man, was narrating what happened, I'm not talking of, he's not an old man. These guys probably in their 30s, mid 30s, strong looking guys, busted out crying. What those guys did to them, the way they were treated. What about Nigerians who actually come from abroad, come for one event or the other, kidnapped? Then they were trying to. One of the sad was the one that happened in around Edo State. Came from America. They tried to make him walk miles. He just couldn't do it, and they shot him. And it was actually due. I think it was on the day that he was due to go back to America that he was kidnapped with others, and they shot him because he couldn't get up. And there's one thing I keep saying is that we need the government to give guidelines. Okay, safety. We have all the security service across the country. We need them to give Nigerian ordinary civilians how can they best defend themselves. What are the precautions at least they can take to outwit or to mitigate against this sort of attack on innocent civilians? Because most of the time I've not heard anything until today. Even at that, I think is not sufficient. But for the army chief to have actually come up to say what is reported that he said shows that things are not getting any easier. Truly, that things are not really getting any easier. So let's have a look at the story. Said every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense. Chief of Defense Staff General Musa has said, "Wow, okay, I get that." Now, I would have thought that we could have gone further. Said the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has advised Nigerians to learn combat skills to protect themselves in the face of danger. The defense chief stated this as a guest of Channel Television Politics today's program on Thursday. He likened the acquisition of combat skills to driving, swimming, and other survival skills. During the interview, the anchors had asked Musa whether he would advise Nigerians to learn combat skills for self-defense. Responding, he said that um, one should be taken as learning driving, learning how to swim, whether we have war or not. It's a survival instinct. In Europe, swimming is compulsory. Learning and teaching about security is compulsory because you have to learn what security is. General Musa said the National Youth Service Corps ought to train Nigerian graduates on unarmed combat skills for day-to-day survival against dark-hearted men. That is the key word. That is why the NYC is supposed to do, but the NYC has been watered down to 3 weeks. I think it is important that we are able to give every Nigerian security awareness at whatever level. Self-defense is very important. Unarmed combat swimming, driving, these are critical aspects for human endeavors. These are things we should never take for granted because they prepare you for the future. The world we are in is now dangerous. We have individuals who don't mean people well. They kill for whatever reason. The number says security is the business of all Nigerians, even as he urges citizens to be situationally aware of their surroundings, to fish out strange and suspicious faces. I think it is what he didn't say that I believe that is very important, which is he should have pointedly just said that we have bandits, kidnappers, and all that. Dark-hearted men, borrowing his words. We have dastardly demonic entities walking around as human beings. These people are possessed by demons. How else will somebody take a woman, a man, and to butcher the person as if even a goat self is not being killed like that? That is the sort of thing we should be talking about. We should not shy away from that because as things are right now, Nigerians need we need people to be able to defend themselves, because people most Nigerians are like, we are like an animal caught in the night in the headlights of a car. You know, when in the night when an animal actually sees a car, light shine on them, they freeze and they are just there, totally helpless. That's how Nigerians are. When people drive around, traveling from one place to the other, we are playing. Most people play Russian roulette. There are people in Nigeria now that will not travel to Abuja, say from Lagos to Abuja by road, because the risks are just too much. We see where, there are some people are complicit. During the time of General Buhari, the former president, we were told that there was a list that was sent from, I think, Dubai, about Nigerians who were culpable, who are sponsoring this sort of madness. It was Their names were never released. We urge the presidency to actually release those names, to should revisit. No matter who they are, they should be exposed, they should be arrested, prosecuted, and judgment served. We shouldn't let our people be killed just like that. Every day we are hearing all kind of things in the name of kidnapping, constantly. So there should be a program whereby every Nigerian that is interested should, I don't think they should force people to do it, but they should be given the opportunity to say, okay, we want to be able to defend yourself in the face of the onslaught against Nigerians currently. So that's it from me. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. We'll be looking to come back again tomorrow, by the grace of God. So we'll just see what actually happened, and we'll be there are some of the news we actually spoke about. Jennifer Ilobo, justice must be served for her. So from me, Olatune, good night and God bless.